Welcome back to our quest. There was a time in my life that I was really looking for a partner. I had this deep longing. And to tell you the truth, I really didn't know how to make it happen. The whole area in that part of my life was very murky. Now, at the time, I was taking a course in spiritual psychology at the University of Santa Monica. And there was a deep process which we did about learning to connect with our inner child. I saw how a part of me had really been exiled and abandoned and very wounded since my parents' separation. And it had become a part of me that I never really healed. And so I was always looking for that intimacy with a man. And that intimacy would come and go because that's the nature of relationships. And when it was there, I would get extremely attached to it because I didn't really have that inner bonding with myself. So I started to do my inner work and bring more healing and loving and embracing that part of myself. I always had this dream that I'm going to meet a man, fall in love, and he's going to ask me to marry him and give me a ring. And there was a ring that I really, really loved. And one day, I decided that I was going to buy this ring for myself and marry myself. I bought it. I took a friend of mine to the theater to watch Swan Lake, which is one of my favorite ballets. And during the intermission, I said, we are going to do a little ceremony. It was magical. It was a magical moment as we said a blessing, and I took that ring and I wore it while committing to myself. This is the ring, my friends, actually. It's a pearl and 3 diamonds. What was remarkable is that I never then after that went out into the world without wearing this symbol of myself to bonding with myself. And I would say to myself, I got you, baby. I got you. I don't have to wait for someone to propose to me. I don't have to wait for someone to want to be intimate with me. If that happens, hallelujah. But it's me with me. I have to tell you that that became part of my foundation, that inner bonding, that knowing how to love agape and all parts of me, that it was not just lip service. It was really dialoguing with that part of me, communicating, asking that part of myself over and over again, how are you feeling now? How do you feel about this? I'm good. How are you? And I listened. And it opened that inner family. It opened a conversation and a deeper relationship with myself. And we all have these expectations about how people should love us. We want people to love us the way we want to be loved. But often people love us the way they know how to love us. We cannot give people a script of what we want them to do or say. We can't say, well, this is how I want you to respond. This is how I want you to reach out. This is how I like to be interacted with. So if we have a close, open relationship with someone, we can explain to them how we would like to be treated. But by no means can we put the burden on someone else to meet our expectations. So it's important to express how you would like to be loved, but to also make room for and be accepting of how other people are going to love you. Part of it is really seeing that love is expressed in many different forms. Every human being is really doing the best they can with what they know. And if we really look beyond that, if people are having a hard time expressing love, it is also because they really have a hard time expressing love for themselves. Maybe they have barricaded themselves, and that should make you so compassionate about other people's expressions. So instead of judging them, you learn to become compassionate, understanding, and accepting, and see where you can do adjustments. It's basically the loving between you, your heart, your spirit, the loving between you, your soul, and loving between you, your inner child, and all parts of your inner family. It's learning to open your heart to your love and letting it fill all parts of yourself. Your spiritual nature is loving, period. Your human nature wants the things the way your human nature wants them. But if you make the shift to your spiritual nature, you will find unconditional love the way it is. Then you're not forcing human demands into that love. You basically accept the love where you find it. We all long to be seen and loved as we are. And when people don't read us, and when people don't react to us the way we would like them to, we can start to feel we don't matter and are feeling discounted. So we first need to bring our spiritual nature up front and fully learn what is it to love ourselves as we are and connect with our true nature. If somebody doesn't appreciate you, you should ask, are you appreciating yourself? We have the power to take full responsibility for our own care. In intimate relationships, it's important to express how you would like to be treated, to be loved, to be communicated with. We can educate people and guide them to the way we want to be treated, but this requires us to be vulnerable with those people with whom we have intimate relationships. However, you can't have the same openness with coworkers, with clients, with acquaintances, or social friends. You can only open this line of communication with those people who you value and who are very close to you. This prayer we're going to do is going to help you reverse the paradigm and fill yourself to capacity. When others don't love you or act the way you would like them to, you are okay with it. So let us come into our heart. Fill our hearts with the Spirit and the light. Dear beloved, I ask for the Spirit to fill me, protect me, and surround me. I ask that I may open my heart to the fullness of myself, to be more receptive to hear my inner guidance. I bring now into the light my areas in my life that I have abandoned, neglected, or ignored. I now ask that any parts of me that feel disconnected, unloved, separated from myself, be bridged by delighting in my own being and my own self. In those areas in which I feel lacking, insecure, unfulfilled, I ask to not look to others to fulfill them, but instead open up a dialogue with myself to know what the deeper parts of me need and how I can meet those needs. When I reach out to others to ask for what I want or need, I ask to do it from a place of freedom, honoring myself by knowing that I have the right to ask for what I want. I ask to be okay when others don't give me what I need. I look with the eyes of love and understanding, knowing that others too have their own process, and how they are or are not with me has nothing to do with me, but is more about their own process and themselves. I now release into the light my expectations of how others should be with me, and I go free. I fill myself with the joy of my being and the deepest acceptance of my relationship with others, just how they are. I am grateful for who I am and for my willingness to bring the Spirit into my everyday life. So be it. So, my friends, for your practice today, I want you to make a commitment to yourself. Create real intimacy with yourself. Make this commitment before Spirit, before God. truly mean it. Create a ritual, a sacrament. You could write down or design something for yourself. Buy something for yourself you really want. Have a special celebration. Buy yourself something special and make a vow with yourself. Get a witness if you need it. It can be anything, not necessarily a ring, but make that commitment of love to yourself. The unconscious loves symbols. So go there and bond with that part of yourself. And as a final thought, I want to remind you that when we don't get from others the reactions we want to, it causes friction or unhappiness. And what we're really saying is this: when you learn to bring more of your spiritual nature and your own loving in your present, then you're free. Others are going to do what they're going to do. Sometimes people are going to behave like you want them. Wonderful. But many times they don't. And if you have a demand on how others should be for you to feel good about yourself, it's mostly going to lead to disappointment. It's extremely important that you learn to love yourself the way you want to be loved. The foundation of this lesson is your freedom. And if you don't always depend on other people's reactions or expressions towards you, you're always going to be dependent, and you want a sense of freedom and well-being regardless. So start by making your spiritual nature upfront. Loving yourself requires vulnerability. What is amazing is that as you become more loving and connected to yourself, other people can actually shift and become more loving towards you. So practice that. Be gentle, be tender with yourself. Open up your kindness door, your creativity, and your compassion to yourself. And I look forward to seeing you at our next lesson. Have a beautiful, loving time, you with you, and see what the universe brings to you as an added bonus.